I'm ready to go be mediocre. I want to go dive in some
A
dumpsters.
lazy specialist. A
Yeah,
lazy,
just solid
low
B,
functioning.
B to B minus.
There's a,
All right, we are talking side hustles today. I am. I think I'm a professional side hustler. I'm just gonna just throw it out there now. Like I'm not just jump right in. I am a professional side hustler. I think I should have business cards. What do you think? Yeah,
I think, yeah, I would
professional side
agree that
hustler.
you're, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I was like, what's
that was me
that?
holding my fake business
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
But then I'm like, it just looks like a claw.
I thought you were just like, ah.
Sorry, it's late. It's late here at least. Yeah, side
I mean,
hustles.
it's like, hey, 7 p.m. is late for me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's almost bedtime. Side hustles. I mean, I think for me, how would you let me ask you, how do you define side hustle? Because I think some people define it differently. I don't know if you know this, but
Oh,
yeah. What do you think of side hustle?
in in addition to your full-time
Mm-hmm.
job. I mean, you might be making more money at it, but you're spending significantly less hours. So
Yeah.
it's not a second full-time job, but it's like
Yeah.
hours wise.
So like
Um,
not your typical 9 to 5 kind of go to the office thing.
right.
Or yeah.
And yeah, and maybe you could, if you have multiple side hustles, it kind of all makes up into one job, or it could be
Mm-hmm.
just one side
Yeah.
hustle in addition to your full-time.
Yeah.
How does AOL define it?
Ask Jeeves.
How does that
We're gonna bring it back. We are determined to
This is
bring.
a very niche audience that will
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because I do think even why I say like I'm a professional side hustler because like I'm always like exploring like what is the next thing that potentially could bring some income. And it's not like I'm trying to like get rich or anything. I mean, I'm not. I mean, if it happened, that'd be cool. But for me, I like to find other ways to help like bring income in. So let's say like, for instance, like we've done photography, right? And for a
Mhm.
while, that was like our. It was a
Main
side
hustle.
hustle, but it became like the
Oh, yeah,
primary thing,
yeah.
even though it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't like what we went to school for or what we kind of
We're doing
imagined
full
a career.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was like our full time and like the only thing really bringing in money there for a little bit.
Oh,
But
right, right.
um, like for us now, it is more of like a side thing because we both are working full time in other ways. But we
Right.
found ways to still use photography to help, supplement income. Or like when we go to Seattle, we still have a lot of clients there, but it allows us to kind of get, I'm not going to say a free trip, but it pays for a lot of our expenses while we're there. We can see our friends
Yeah.
and enjoy the beautiful Pacific Northwest while, not using our budgeted money, I guess, for that. But
Right.
yeah, are you a side hustler, or you're not really a side hustler, Sarah? What do you,
Um, my so with my freelance makeup, I guess it was a side hustle. I don't even know what that was, but then it turned into like more of a full-time kind
yeah.
of thing. I think it's just hard for me to like hold back. And then with my current position, I mean, I tell this to people like I'd be doing this and volunteering anyway, so
Hmm.
why not just do it full time and get paid?
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time holding back, but
Yeah. How did
I mean,
I
maybe I
don't
should. Okay.
no, I don't know how. I don't even know that I know. How did you start doing like the makeup stuff? When did that
I've seen
start
some
and how?
YouTube. Yeah, I mean, obviously I was into makeup like in high school. Then I saw YouTube videos and I was like, oh, like people like can do this. So I just started building my book and I just put myself out there. I think it's because like I have nothing to lose.
Hmm.
And I feel like we need to do another podcast just about like career advice,
Yeah.
or just kind of like career stuff, and leadership, because that's one of the things that I say. If you start from like almost a deficit, I have
Mhm.
nothing to prove. And so therefore I was able to take more risks. And when you take more risks, they can pay off a little bit more than like if you feel like you have some image or reputation to maintain. So I think in that way, like I just threw myself out there and it paid off. Like I was making bids for some large commercials that I really had no business making bids on, and then I would get them. Like I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can, like leading up to it, and I'd make myself sick, and then it would be fine. So
It's
I
amazing.
don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
that's really cool. I mean,
And same
honestly,
with,
like,
yeah,
no, no, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go for it.
no, just same with my current job. You know, just the same thing. I kind of start with the deficit in the sense that I'm super curious. So I learn a lot more, like quantity, no, quality over quantity. And then it just kind of accelerated my career path in this field. But yeah, I don't,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
amazing.
know. So
That's
tell me
really cool.
about, yeah,
Well, I was just gonna,
you're
yeah, I was
the
just gonna
side
say
hustle.
before we talk about me is just that like when I first met you, and I don't obviously I don't know anything about. I was like, I think when we first met and became friends, and then like your Instagram, I was like, what does MUA mean? Like I have no idea what that is. Like, could somebody explain this to me? I don't know. But then like to see like the work that you did and like this girl's like profesh, like she must be like famous or something. Like I didn't just because I like the jobs that you were doing. When we
Yeah.
talked about in our Super Bowl episode. The stuff you did with some of the Seahawks and like man, that's crazy. That like I just assumed that you went to school for that and like that was like your whole
Oh, yeah, no.
whole deal until
Yeah, I think,
a lot longer. I mean, it was a few years before I knew that you didn't knew that.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now that I'm thinking about it, because before that I worked in finance and I accelerated pretty quickly in that. Like after a year, I had my stockbroker license paid for and was helping negotiate real estate investment trusts for high net worth clients. I mean, I was 22. I really had no business doing that.
Hmm.
But I think part of it is that I can BS really well. Like I can really, but it's true, right? Like you can
Yeah,
kind of,
for
you
sure.
know, the right things to say. It's really quality over quantity. And it just, anyways, I'll save it for a later episode because honestly, like I have a lot of like tips and tricks, which sounds super shady, but
No, that's
I
awesome.
guess you'll have
No.
to listen.
Yes. Well, I'm excited to hear about that. I need some of those tips too. Very, very cool. Yeah, for
But yeah,
me.
no, I want to hear about side hustles because I think okay, before you go into it,
Mm-hmm.
it makes someone interesting. I think what we were used to with our parents was just kind of like you had one career, one job your whole life, and people really didn't explore these other sides to themselves and like
Yeah.
interests and like, you know, it's okay to just like dive into something and explore something, even if it's for a little bit, and then do
Yeah,
something else or add it to your repertoire. So,
for sure.
anyways, I want to hear.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really a cool point because I think for me at least, just in my like how not how I was raised necessarily. I think it's just the culture that most of us were brought up in. It's like you do the high school, you go to school, right? And then you go to college maybe, and then you kind of figure out that career. What is okay for those who are
What?
watching? You're getting a different perspective. If you're listening, you're missing out on Sarah, it's dinner time, so it's totally fine, and there's absolutely no judgment at all. It just just threw me for a second,
Wait,
but
wait. Also, what is happening is I am being respectful because what our listeners also don't know is your condition.
if you
Your,
if you
what do you
listen to
call it?
if you listen to season 1, episode 2, 4 years, 3 years ago, there you go. We did talk about misophonia.
Wait, was that the episode?
I don't know. It
Wow.
probably was. It might be. We only did like 5.
Wow. No!
So I'm taking a guess because you
Oh,
interviewed
okay.
me, I interviewed you. I think it probably was 5.
Oh! Yeah,
So
sorry,
yeah,
I'm trying not to chew in everyone's
no, you're
ears.
being very respectful,
And be respectful.
and
Yeah,
I
yes.
appreciate it so much. But yeah, I
Okay,
um,
so continue.
I think you're kind of just put on this path, right? Oh man, I'm gonna start this part over because I've been listening back to these. I say right all the time, and I didn't know it. I'm like, oh no. Like I'll like try to make a point. So I'll say something
No, we
like,
need to keep this in. This is great. This
yeah,
is
it is
like
it is
a
good. I want to cut it out, but I
self-evolved,
won't.
yeah,
But
we're keeping this in, folks.
I listened to the last, or I guess it was the only one that's posted since we're recording this when we are. But I'll try to make it like this profound point, like, when people do this, they're like, really thinking about how they can go to the next level, right? And I say right at the end of like every sentence. I'm like, oh no, I have one of those weird tick things, but so I'm going to work on that. So I think we can add a little bell every time I say right. We'll just ding, little
Oh
counter.
yeah.
We should do that. That's too much work. I'm not going to do that. But we are put
Speaking
on.
of side hustles,
Yeah,
that's too much work.
that's way too much. I'm not doing
Way
that.
too much.
I don't have that kind of time. But I do think that we're put on this kind of path early on in life of, you kind of find what you either are interested in, what you think you should be interested in, or what your parents think you should do. And you just kind of go for it. And that's what you do. And at least it felt like the path for me. And I was never like pressured into anything. My family was great. They were like, do what you want to do. Like, it was never anything. There was never that kind of pressure, but it was more within our school. Like, okay, you need to be thinking, what's your career going to be? I'm like, I'm 17. Like, I have no idea what I want to do, but you feel this pressure that way of going to college and picking that path. And I think that it really threw me off because I didn't know a lot. I didn't know what kind of skills I had. I never really kind of figured out. I liked to play sports in high school, but I'm not that athletic, so I'm not going to be a professional athlete. I like music, and then it kind of worked out for me in that lane, but that took a long
Right.
time to figure out. So my initial thoughts were I was going to go to school to be like a teacher, and then kind of work my way up to be like an administrator, like a principal, like a high school. But then I'm like, even in my personality, like in college, I was like, I'm going through like social anxiety, and like I can't be a teacher, and like I don't want to be in front of people. And so there's all of these different things
Oh,
that,
but yeah, I'll lead worship in front
well,
of
but
hundreds of
again, like
people.
that happened like 10 years later, like in my mid to
Oh,
late
okay.
20s, right?
Yeah.
Right. Ding. There was the right. Um, I, and
Well,
so
well,
from
that's funny because
those,
I was like, right. I was like, that
yes,
is right.
you just put it right in my head. But yeah, so from
I
like
think it's a way
17,
to,
it
yeah,
is. It's inviting you in, but also you
inviting.
agree with me,
Yes.
correct?
Ooh, it's a form of manipulation,
It is
right?
manipulation too. I am a bit manipulative. But I
No.
don't think I really even knew where I wanted my life to go until,
Right.
honestly, I was probably married with like a kid. And I'm still like, I don't know. Like I'm going to do
Right.
this because I found some kind of inroads. But even then, I think I got off to a kind of a rough start because I felt pressure to make a decision that I wasn't equipped to make,
Right.
which then
Interesting.
kind of led me down a few different paths. So I do have a bit of an entrepreneurial brain, I think, where I'm always kind of thinking like, okay, this could be a
You do.
business, this could be a thing,
Yeah.
and that has turned into like all kinds of weird side hustles that I will try to, if
Wait.
I don't know how to do something, I'll try to figure it out. Kind of what you're talking about. But I don't
Mhm.
have the personality it sounds like that you have of like I'm just gonna go for it, nothing to lose. Like I get in my head, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'll try to learn it, but it's not good enough. And so it's see how your
Well,
personality
I'm
is.
definitely not good enough, but I think we're both, well, I don't know. I know I'm an extroverted version of you.
Mhm.
So I get what you're saying. Like with the Myers-Briggs, I'm the
Yeah,
ENFP and you're INFP.
right.
So I think I do have the same thoughts, but I have empty brains. So it's like I just then don't have those thoughts. Like I have them for like a second and then I'm like, what?
Yeah,
And then I go jump off the cliff.
yeah. So
But yeah.
I don't even remember like what my first like attempt at that was. It probably had something to do with music because again, I was brought up in such a churched world that it's like, okay, maybe I'll sing in churches and kind of, make some money that way. That'd be cool. And then, oh, okay, maybe I'll be a, you know, uh, I don't know what. I would just try to, and then I'm like, I don't know what else I'm going to do. And then I kind of, as the digital world kind of developed, I kind of got into like building websites and doing like um, graphic design, that kind of stuff. Even though I didn't really know, I had zero training in that. I didn't know anything about it, but I would try to learn, and then
Right.
I would do like little side jobs here and there as either favors, and try to build some sort of business that didn't really take off. But I mean, I've been that was going to sound really weird. I've been paid for a lot of weird stuff. That sounded really it sounded kind of sketchy. I've been paid for some really weird stuff. Um,
Wait, what's the weirdest, a few of the weird things? Like
um,
weird? Like,
yeah, not when I say weird, there's nothing super weird. It's just, but it would be, I would do
innovative.
videos. Yeah,
Innovative.
innovative maybe. I would do videos for like people's birthday parties, and I think that even kind of led into like our. So
Oh.
they would like send me pictures of like old photographs, and I would scan them and kind of update them, and then make like a video thing out of
Oh.
it. That was like the really popular thing to do back in the early 2000s. But
I was gonna say, guess the year.
yes, what year did this happen? Hey,
Yeah.
scan my
I'm like,
here's a scanner.
I'm sorry you did that this week. It could be
Actually,
like a cool like
maybe
throwback. Be
yes,
like, hey, make your videos look vintage.
yes. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Like people's Instagram is complete opposite, right?
Oh,
It's like
right.
they'll make it
Yep.
as, but yeah, I don't know what are some other weird things. I mean, I have probably the thing that I'm like not famous for because I'm not famous, but within our friend circle of like hitting up the Goodwill bins and
Oh
selling
yeah.
men's
I was like
ties.
hitting up who? Oh yeah. Yeah. Men's
So I
size.
would go to the Goodwill outlet, which if you've never been to a Goodwill outlet, let me tell you folks, this is the place to be. This is you think you
The height
find
of pleasure.
yes, you think you're going to find deals at the regular Goodwill store, just go to the outlet. That's where the good stuff is. So yeah, I mean, and this was in a time when this was like legit side hustle. Like
Yeah.
we need to like pay rent, we need to buy some
Yeah.
groceries. I gotta make some money. We were doing photography at the time, but not. It wasn't quite making enough money to make ends meet, and so I would go down to the Goodwill outlet and just dig through those disgusting bins. Like, I mean, they tell you to wear gloves because there's like broken glass and all kinds of.
Yeah.
It is nasty. and you just dig through it, but you can find some real treasures. But I found that men's ties were like, because when you go to the Goodwill outlet, it's not like price. Like if you go to the store, like okay, this shirt's like $7. This Goodwill outlet is you pay by the weight, and men's ties
Oh,
are very light typically. So I would just like
oh,
dig through, find men's ties, and I discovered that they were costing me about like 7 to 9 cents per tie, but I could sell them
oh,
online for $3 to like $50, depending on like
wow.
how nice the tie was. Yeah. So that's like my
Whoa.
that's probably like my favorite. Like I still kind of want to do that just because it was like the hunt.
Yeah.
I would
There's
like
something
love.
primal in you that was
Yeah, it's like you got to go
satisfying
for
that
the
need.
hunt and find.
Yeah.
So oddly enough, the tie that I sold that was probably that sold for the most money was a Donald Trump tie.
Oh,
Oddly enough,
interesting.
the Trump collection. Someone
Hmm.
bought it. Yeah, made some good
Interesting.
money on it. So
What state
yeah,
did they buy it from?
that's a good question. I don't even. Yeah, he had to be president then. Yeah, this was probably
Yeah,
2017. Yeah, I don't know.
that is interesting.
Probably a southern state.
Hmm.
Maybe right here in
Or like a
California.
gag gift. I'm
Or
thinking
or
maybe
mid, yeah, it
like
could be
someone
or
got
Midwest.
some.
Midwest is even more
Hmm.
MAGA than in the
Interesting.
South. But yeah, I've sold a. I like to take hobbies and kind of turn that into you
That's
know
a skill in itself.
yeah, be able to.
That's really well, even hearing how your brain was working with the tie thing and like it weighed the least, therefore there was like a real process with that.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
yeah, and I do this.
Hmm.
So this is a real like those who are the closest to me probably know this, but not a lot of people though. Like I collect like sports cards. Like that's kind of my nerd thing
Oh,
that I
yeah.
do. And but I do like to buy and then sell or like flip. So if I find
Oh.
like a good if it's something that I don't care about personally, like for myself, like some things I just like to have. But then there are others that okay, I can buy, this card for cheap and then sell it for more later, or see if this kind of, it is kind of like you know a form of gambling. Although we have established in our Super Bowl episodes again that we don't endorse that here, but we but I yeah, you do kind of, it is a little bit of a gamble.
Investing. Investing.
Investing, yeah, that's sports card investing. That I am a sports
Yeah.
card investor.
Card investor.
Yes, yes,
Enthusiast.
enthusiast slash investor. Yeah. So yeah, any way to take like something that you enjoy, and make a little money on it is kind of fun. And so my thing with that has been, if there's a card that I really would like to have, how can I get that for basically nothing? Like take something I have,
Oh,
sell
yeah.
it, buy something else to kind of get what I want. It's like the Office episode where they have the trade. Do you remember this episode? You don't really like the
No.
Office as much as I do you? I don't think
No, I
you're.
love The Office.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Mike
love The
doesn't
Office.
like The
I was just,
Office. Mike doesn't really like The
yeah, that's
Office.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I shamefully bought a $20 book about Michael Scott quotes that I could just Google, but, or
yeah,
I could ask Jeeves, but then I don't even know where it is now. It made me happy.
yeah. So the Office episode, it's the one where they have like a garage sale kind of thing in the office, and so Dwight has like a paper clip, and he wants to trade up to get like the best thing
Oh,
there.
oh
You remember
yeah.
this episode? You need to go back and watch that one.
I need to.
It's a good one. I won't spoil it if you've not seen
Okay.
it, but it's a good one. And so I like to do that with the sports card stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is. I mean, what's fascinating about the sport cards is that, um, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it does because it was so nostalgic, and I just it was
Yeah.
just such an embedded part of culture growing up. But then like it kind of made sense because these are people with careers, you're
Hmm.
collecting and trading, but then it kind of doesn't. But then with the whole Pokemon craze, which speaking of side hustles, my 13-year-old son is now trying to side hustle his Pokemon cards or main hustle in his case. And
Yes.
I'm just like, oh gosh. Because, the thing with Pokemon is that part of their whole gimmick, and this along with those like Hatchimal thingies,
Hmm.
is they try to reel you in with the surprise or like the anticipation of like,
Yeah.
what am I going to get? Um, but anyways, it's hard because I don't want to dampen his entrepreneurial spirit, but I'm just like, I don't need you to be a 40-year-old Pokemon card enthusiast investor.
We're a
Like I don't.
44-year-old sports card enthusiast investor. I feel
Oh
like
my
that was a shot.
gosh.
I feel like you took a dig at me.
Okay. No, I'm saying I kind of feel like there's more like I don't know. What am I trying to say? Like just rootedness. It seems to be more legit the sport card
Well,
because
even if it's just that, just
it's like a real thing.
keep it on the side though. Keep it on the side though.
Oh, right, 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 right.
I think it's okay.
Although, you know what? No one's laughing. If you're making a million off of that, or even 100,000 a year, no one is laughing,
Yeah.
nor should they be.
Well,
I'm like those
yeah, I remember
adult
Max going.
Pokemon YouTubers.
That's
Respect.
exactly what I was gonna say. I
No
remember
shame. Yep, love it.
Max would spend. He's not into Pokemon anymore, thank God. But I mean, he would spend probably hours. I mean, we didn't let him because it was so annoying, but he would just watch this guy just rip open Pokemon packs. I'm like, are we seriously doing that? And then I'm like, but wait, if this guy's doing this, then someone's ripping some sports cards, and I'm all in on that.
Wait, did you watch? Did you find
Yeah,
some
I
videos and watch
totally
it?
did. I because I didn't know that was like a thing. I had no
Yeah.
idea. So I'm like, like
Whoa!
kind of
Wait,
making.
you know what else is a thing?
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
interrupted you.
No,
Okay,
what's a
I
thing?
found I found these videos. This was like maybe 8 years ago, and I don't know if it's a thing still, but these YouTube videos that were going viral of these girls who would like dumpster dive, and these are girls who like they don't need to be foraging for anything,
Right.
but they would dumpster dive similar to the Goodwill bins, but like legit
Dumpster.
commercial dumpsters out in the back of like Big Lots, Sephora, Ulta, all these places,
Right.
and grab all of the discarded makeup or other things that people would throw out because they had to or whatever. It was the new season. Bath and Body Works, and then they would share on YouTube what they found. And then actually some of these stores like Ulta and Sephora were starting to like lock their dumpsters or just like
Yeah.
do like update their process and how they dumped because obviously all these people were like
Like
turning around selling these unopened like
totally.
really nice makeup and other products. But anyway,
That's
it just
crazy.
reminded me of that. There's something in the hunt and like the anticipation and risk of it all. Maybe if it's a side hustle too, you feel less investment in it. It's kind of like, well, I hope that'd be cool if it works out, but I'm also doing
Yeah.
it because it's kind of fun and there's this play about it, or it's almost like a sport.
Totally. And I think that's what I do think that is kind of why even the world is how it is in some ways now, right? Oh, I did it again. Because
Oh, ding,
every
ding,
time,
ding.
ding, because it's the
I didn't notice.
hunt, but it's also like we're intrigued by the hunt or what can people find and how do they take this thing, this random this random idea or this random hobby
Yeah,
and turn it into like their career. Because there's
yeah,
also that I'd really love to do that. Like for those people who are like, I hate my job, it's like I'm tired of
yeah.
going to the office every day. Like I want to
Oh,
dive in a
yeah.
dumpster for makeup. That sounds amazing, you know?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I think there is a little bit of that even kind of to call back to our true crime, it's like that you just kind of get drawn into this almost like a story, like you said, of
Yeah.
trying to and find also the how did you put it in that episode? Like the it even relaxes you a little bit. It takes the
Mhm.
pressure. You kind of step
Yeah.
out of your world for a little bit, jump into
Yeah.
somebody else's, and super
Well, it's
interesting.
like, yeah, you get positive reinforcement when you get those dopamine hits of like, oh, this one sold for $50 on eBay, or okay, I knew it. It is really like Russian roulette in some ways, but then you figure out an algorithm, which you did with the ties,
Mm-hmm.
and these dumpster diver people do, or even Pokemon. Like, dude, I don't know. Do we have more time left?
Yeah.
Okay. So Gabe wanted to go on a mommy date the other day. Well, actually, I might have initiated this, but he really wanted to go around and look for Pokemon sets. And they've been selling out everywhere. Like the minute a place gets a shipment in, they're
Mm-hmm.
out. And he's like on the hunt. Well, we didn't end up doing long story, whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this. Wait, where was I going with this? Oh my gosh. I don't even
Hey,
know. Oh my gosh.
I'm
Well,
intrigued.
cut,
You,
cut. I do have another story. I'm not going to share it because he listens and he's going to be embarrassed, but we'll
yeah, we
cut
don't
all
want to
that out.
embarrass anybody. Protect our children. That's what we do. And I even
Mm.
felt bad about not exposing Max, but talking about his mustache on the YouTube. But yeah, I think all of those things are so fascinating, and I do kind of come back to the idea of like how to like people also in like this time of like financial difficulties and the price of eggs have increased dramatically. You know, like the recession on the horizon,
Ugh,
supposedly, all of that. So
eggs
like
are so dramatic.
yeah, so trying to find like ways to supplement income. I'm all for it. I'm all in on it, and think everybody else should too. Like, find something you love, like make a little extra cash. It's great, and you never know what could happen out of it. You could be world famous podcasters like us.
Yeah.
We had like 500 people watch one of our
Oh, I
YouTube
know.
videos. It's pretty spectacular. We're
Yeah.
gonna be
That's
making like
pretty amazing.
massive amount of money here pretty soon. Just wait. Just wait. Anything else on side hustles there, Sarah?
I don't think so. I mean, I have lots of ideas. I definitely have research like doing writing side hustles or like, I don't know. I kind of have a short attention span though, I feel
Yeah.
like, which is also good for side hustles. And just a quick question, because I had this
Yeah.
question when you were sharing. Do you
Yeah.
consider yourself a specialist or a generalist?
Generalist.
Same,
Within that's
same.
what I think of myself. Yeah.
No, same. I think of yourself, well, and generalist, like jack of all trades. I mean, there's, obviously strengths
Yeah. And weaknesses. Yep.
and more strengths,
And lots of
stronger strengths.
weaknesses.
But yeah, I actually ordered a book called, oh my gosh.
Ding, ding, ding. Sarah recommends.
Ding ding ding. I know. It's not interesting. Speaking of short attention span, I stopped reading
And
it
I
because
don't know
people.
what it was. Don't care.
Well, back to being a generalist. Yes, I let us know if you're a specialist or a generalist, and yeah, how that's shown up in your life. If you side hustle, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
would
just super
definitely want to hear
fascinating.
from
People are
people on
interesting.
side hustles. Like, what are some other
Oh
things out
yeah,
there? Yeah, that's the coolest. This is
yeah.
a chance for
You're like,
people
what
to
are some
talk.
other? Give me some other ideas.
I need some more ideas. I can only. I don't have room for any more. So speaking of sports cards, if if you're watching this episode, right? Wait, this way? Woo! And that thing right there. there are thousands of sports cards in that thing right there. There's a big, I don't know what it's an old card catalog, and that's Melinda's like beautiful piece, but it's full of weird baseball cards.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
Is
me to talk
Melinda
about
a
it.
generalist or a specialist? I feel like she's a generalist because she's so good at everything.
Yeah, I think she would be a general. I mean, she's just a high functioning generalist.
That's
So
a
I,
spectrum of low functioning
yeah,
generalists.
yeah, I think
High
I'm a
functioning.
medium specialist, like,
Wait, generalist.
or yeah,
Wait,
generalist,
what?
a medium generalist. Yeah. What is it called again? Yeah, because I think I can do a lot of things like pretty good. There are definitely things that I am terrible at too, for sure. And it seems to me, and I'm not just saying that because number one, she probably won't listen to this, and and I've told her this before, so I'm not just making it up. Like she's
Yeah,
great at everything. Like
she really
it's
is.
kind of frustrating. Yeah, like even like she'll say, "Oh, I don't really like to speak or like be in front of people and talk or sing or anything," but she totally can do it and she's great at it. And
Yeah,
like everything that she does, she's great. And so it's like she can take anything and be like I I can't really show off the room right now, but even like as an interior designer, like she could totally do that. Like she
yeah,
could turn that into a career. Uh, like her work has nothing to do with what she went to school for, but she kills it. She's amazing.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
I guess that's what I mean by a high functioning generalist. Like she can do all of it really great.
Okay.
But
Well, you know what? That's interesting. Yeah, she is high functioning and that everything she delivers in the general categories are like 100%. Whereas I'm more like you too, like a medium generalist where like
yeah,
I even say to my team at work, like B plus, B plus baby. It's okay. It's okay. Just get it done.
get it done. Be
But yeah, I'm kind of a medium generalist who can like get by with making someone laugh and it covers the rest of the 20% that I
yes. You're
or
80 plus
like
20%.
look over here.
Don't look that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't look that way.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
yeah.
Well,
So
oh.
much we could talk about.
Oh,
But
we're
yeah,
still
let's
going. Oh,
let's
okay, we're not.
let's let let's let the people speak too. We want to hear from you. We want your ideas. We won't
And
steal
what are
them.
you a specialist in if you are a specialist? And when did you know that that was your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to
Yeah.
hear that. Cool.
Yeah.
As
All right.
always, Sarah, it's been great. It's been a delight. I have so many things I want to do now. Like from this conversation, I'm
Oh,
ready to take on the world.
generalize.
Actually, I'm just
Go
ready to
generalize.
go. Yeah, be. I'm ready to go be mediocre. I want to go dive in some
Or a
dumpsters.
lazy specialist. A
Yeah,
lazy,
just solid
low functioning.
B to B minus.
There's a,
All
I'm
right,
just, I'm a specialist. I'm low on the spectrum.
low spectrum. That's right. Cool. All right, great to see you again. Until we do this again. Wait, what?
We need to sign off.
We need to sign off. Yeah,
What?
yeah, that was weird.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What? Bye.
See ya.